Welcome back to the UFO Disclosure Symposium. I'm here with the one and only Steph Lizabeth from UAP Experiencers. I'm so excited to have you here, Steph. You've been working in the community for quite some time and helping people come forward and tell their stories. And you've had a lot of people reach out to you and send you their experiences and stuff like that. And now we have this whole convention coming up May 27th through the 29th, and I can't wait to go. How are you feeling, Steph? It's nice to have you here.
Uh, Thank you for having me, Carl. Yes, I'm a fan of a lot of your work and that you've had all of these phenomenon experiences. And I mean, it just makes perfect sense for you to be, kind of the one that's hosting this entire event. So thank you for having me. And yeah, I mean, I've been anticipating this for the last year when I actually started UAP Experiencers. I just, did have an experience of my own, and I just started feeling like, you know what, this is a time for me to talk about this. I've been, talking with my family about this since about 1986 when we had it occur. And it really did weigh on me for so many years. So, you get to that point of where everything's kind of stops in the world and you have all this time to be thinking about this situation that had occurred, and you don't really talk about it to your normal everyday folks. So it was something that had been in a small circle of, say, my friends, family, and I mean, I'm talking like maybe 5 people.
Yeah.
So to be able to start to speak about it, which it started off on a small little site on a Twitter. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but Danny Silva has a space there, and he has, invited me on. So I did start to speak about it then, and then slowly start to get to know all of the people that are bringing so much awareness in this community. So, I mean, it just started kind of dusting off the cobwebs, if you will, where I'm going, you know what? This is not the only instances that's ever happened. And yes, it did occur to 3 of us. I mean, we're civilians, my mom, my sister, and I.
Mhm.
We are not in the military, but we did run an aerospace company that did distribute parts for, say, the stealth bomber,
Mm.
military helicopters. So we did have some sort of like an underlying like tie to the military. So I have that in the back of my mind. Does that have something to do with it?
Right.
Not really sure. So that's kind of where I came here trying to seek answers as well. So began UAP Experiencers, and I mean, people have been coming to me probably every other week. It's not something that happens all of the time. So that's pretty much like the average of when someone will, come forward and want to talk about it. So yeah, I'm happy to open this space for people. There's no judgment, of course, here. And yeah, come forward. If you're ready to talk about it, we're here for you.
So, I mean, you had an experience yourself and you're getting ready to kind of finally face that and come forward with it. And you're doing an upcoming interview soon where you're going to be sharing that. Where are you going to be doing that for people to go check that out, Steph?
So we will be on with Disclosure Team, Vinny Adams, and he's been incredibly gracious with his time and the community and all of the research that he's been putting forth towards the subject. And he covers all realms of UAP activity. So, you know, being that he wasn't very, I need the information now, what's going on. We've taken all of these steps for about the last year in order to get to this point of unveiling my mom's verbal account. And we will be blurring out her face just to keep her private. And then my sister does have her audio account. There are minor variations in what you hear, but we've all come to the conclusion that this is definitely not an aircraft of any kind from here. So,
Mm.
yeah.
So, has it been? It's probably been really fascinating for you then. Are you getting interested in this and involved in it? But then all of a sudden, this Tic Tac footage comes out, the UFO footage, and the Pentagon and the US
Yes.
Navy, they like admit that these things are unknowns and they can't identify them or they won't. And there's a whole bunch of interesting stuff revolving around that. Um, what are your thoughts on the original footage that's come out, and now we have, you know, the 4 more pieces of footage that are going to be revealed at the symposium that we're excited about. We can talk about that in a second, but how did that change things for you when you realized that our own government and the Pentagon were starting to come forward and acknowledge these things?
Right. Well, that's when I did start to kind of let my guard down a bit, where it started, kind of knocking at the back of my brain, going, hey, Steph, people are talking about this. This is actually becoming, accepted by the news, by the military, and it just kind of started knocking in the back of my mind. And I'm going, no, I got to do my day today. I can't put my mind there. It truly does take a lot from you when you do regress back to what had occurred, because you think that there's no way that it could have possibly occurred. That's how you start to believe and think. But being that there were 3 of us, we know for a fact what had occurred. So it is something that just kind of goes to the back of your mind.
Yeah.
When that started becoming, the forefront of the news, we started talking about it again. So now, you get that time that goes by and you really do kind of have to slow down in order to start collecting information. I started emailing my mom just tidbits here and there going, hey, do you recall when we stopped the car? Do you remember when my brother rolled the window down? Do you remember when we slammed on the brakes and the aircraft literally mimicked our car? Almost like a Tesla AI, where we rolled back, it rolled back. There was no hesitation whatsoever. It was unreal. And I mean, that's back in '86. So, yeah.
All this time later now, yeah, and now all this has come forward, and the U.S. Navy, and you've got, Commander Fravor and all these people speaking on the public news and everything. And now here we have the UFO Disclosure Symposium coming up. And we've been able to work with some people behind the scenes. And this footage, there's 4 clips of military grade footage that is coming out at the symposium. Have you got to see any of the footage, Steph, yet?
I have not. So There was actually an NDA mentioned, and which got me kind of excited. I'm not going to lie. I was thinking, that's a good sign. So
Yeah, I know I've definitely validated where the footage comes from, the source, and who has brought it out and helped kind of arrange to make sure that it gets in the right hands and everything. So I'm really excited for you to see it and think of what your opinions are and how it relates to your experience and the ones that everybody is sending to you. But what would you say you're most excited about or hoping for when this gets released at the convention?
Well, I'm obviously excited about all of the different speakers. Avi Loeb, he's been working with Harvard closely, trying to just, work out. I'm gonna try and say it. Amuamua.
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 Yeah.
Thank you, Carl.
I just got done interviewing him a few hours ago. That's the only reason I know how to say it right.
Yes, and so I'm super intrigued by that, and just to see, if they have any new information to unveil about that. And yeah, I mean, just the guys from Skinwalker Ranch, that's going to be super cool. Dwayne from Blind Frog Ranch, he just seems like such a solid guy. I just think that, I'm just excited to kind of see everybody all together, like-minded individuals in this community doing positive things for it. We are there for good reason. We're all for the same reason. We want to know the truth. We want to see the truth. And if these videos even give 1 iota of any information, I will walk away just elated.
Absolutely. What I'm really excited about with the lineup of keynote speakers and people that we have at the convention and the symposium that are presenting is that it's such a great spread. There are people there that are like L.A. Marzulli, for example.
Yeah.
His work goes back into anthropology and archaeology. So does James Keenan's, and they're studying the ancient petroglyphs and the ancient history and how it relates to the phenomenon, all the way up to, like you said, Avi Loeb, a Harvard PhD. He's published over 900 scientific papers and written 8 books. And having this whole spread, Jim Segala, he's got the sensor equipment all over the Uintah Basin and around the country to try and detect this stuff. We got Paul Hynek, who's J. Allen Hynek's son from Project Blue Book, and he's working on developing from the history and the historical records and the scientific evidence a method of contact, safe contact, and how it can be approached, including like all the CE5 and all the different approaches. He's trying to unify that into something workable. It's going to be amazing. And then there's a lot of amazing people like you that are coming too, Steph, that are firsthand experiencers that have experienced the phenomenon with multiple witnesses there. And I'm really excited to hear your story when you're ready to share it over on Vinny's channel. It's going to be really fun.
Most definitely. Yeah. Thank you.
And I'm excited to see you up there, and everybody who wants to come and meet Steph at the convention. Are you going to be there, Steph?
Yes, of course I'll be there.
I just wanted to hear you say it. Yeah, we're both going to be there. It's going to be fun. If you want to come and meet us, make sure and get your tickets. Come say hi to Steph at the convention, or get your online live streaming tickets for the UFO Disclosure Symposium, May 27th through the 29th. Don't miss it, and we'll see you there.
Don't miss it.
That was great.